Hello, this is Winchester Now, our news programme here on Winchester Radio. Today, World Cup excitement. We talk to young footballers about the women's success. Another sporting legend visits the city to inspire talented swimmers. The latest in our look at the Hampshire Open Studios and why Civil War soldiers took Sunday shoppers by surprise. Winchester Radio. There's been celebrations in Winchester as England stormed through to the final of the Women's World Cup. This was the moment fans reacted to the final whistle as they watched in O'Neill's pub in the city centre. Among those cheering the 3-1 win were two 10-year-old footballers from Winchester City Flyers and their coach.
I'm Elise. And I'm Layla.
What do you think of the result then?
Amazing. Australia was a tough team and we just kept on pushing and we took it. It's a great win.
What do these girls mean to you?
Role models, they're amazing. They got really far since they won the Euros and now they're in the final of the World Cup.
They mean a lot because they've inspired other young women and girls to play football. People were too scared and now they've just come out and now everyone can play.
And you two both play football. What does football mean to you?
Football means to me a lot because I feel like I can let out aggression and feelings, but in the same I can hang out with my friends and the game is it's so fun. When you play with your team, it's kind of like a family.
When you're on the pitch, it means you're just running and you can run wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. You can just feel free and you can, like Layla said, you can play with your friends. I've been doing it for a while. It means a lot.
And do you think seeing the success of the Lionesses today, do you think more people will want to join?
Yeah, probably. I think young women have been inspired by this.
Yeah, it really does show we can do a lot. We've come so far away. If you had seen how bad the pitches were when it all started, it was so bad. But now we've come so long way, and look at us now. We're playing the finals and the World Cup. It means everything.
I'm Matt Brown. I'm the coach of Winchester City Flyers under-11 Jays.
What do you think of the win today?
Oh, it's a fantastic win. It just keeps the amazing run going. It's just been incredible, going all the way back to last year with the Euros. Fantastic.
And how much do you think the girls are inspired by what they see today?
I do. I think it's a genuine thing. They don't play it up like it's, something artificial. I think genuinely inside. I think they're really inspired by these amazing role models.
And tell me a bit about girls football in Winchester. How's it doing?
Oh, it's crazy. I've been coaching for 3 years. Girls are just flooding into the game. If anything, we need more pitches for them to play on, especially in the winter months. But yeah, the girls love the game. The parents love the game. It's just a wonderful, wonderful sport, and it's good to be part of.
Have you seen more girls coming forward? Is it growing in popularity?
Massively so. At under 11s we have 4 teams. I think under 12s, I think we have 6 teams. The whole area is just Hampshire, all across Hampshire. The girls are enjoying the game, and Flyers, we have a kind of a motto where we don't turn anybody away from the game. So there's no waiting lists to get on teams. There's nobody gets kind of put away from the club. We'll form a new team for new players. So it's a good setup. Just getting more and more girls playing sports and just being outside and just being active.
And victories like today will encourage more, I guess.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. It's really good. We're really happy.
And the way they play on the pitch as well, that sets a good example, doesn't it?
Yeah, the goals you saw, we were talking about it with the girls. They didn't think, they just kind of acted. They just put the big goals in when they had to. But they also, you've seen throughout the tournament, supporting the other team, just being kind opponents, kind people, supportive, both themselves and their opponents. It's just great.
And what are your thoughts for Sunday?
I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past this group of Lionesses. They're such winners, and they step up when they have to. I don't know. Let's play the game.
Winchester Radio. Thousands of students across Winchester face a nail-biting night as they pick up their A-level results tomorrow. Last year, Peter Symonds College received a 99% pass rate at A-level, with 67% being grade B or above. For many pupils, this was the first time they sat formal exams because their GCSEs didn't go ahead during the pandemic, and it's thought grades might be lower because of the return to pre-pandemic grading standards. Now for more news from around our city, here's Steve Walker.
£84,000 of funding has been given to local projects to help tackle countryside crime. It includes automatic number plate recognition cameras to target rural crime hotspots, thermal imaging equipment for the police dog unit, and a recruitment drive for more volunteers to join mounted rural patrols. Recent figures show rural crime costs farmers £50 million a year. The grants from the Police and Crime Commissioner also include help for Winchester Street Reach, which supports vulnerable young people. Nearly 70 families have signed up to become foster carers in Hampshire after a campaign was launched last year, but the County Council has issued a new appeal for more people to come forward, with its aim to find 150 new foster homes by the end of 2023. People are needed to foster children from babies to teenagers, children seeking asylum, sibling groups and children with additional needs and disabilities. The authority says every 12 hours another child comes into care in Hampshire, and more people are needed to ensure young people can have a brighter, loving and more stable future. Winchester University has moved into the top 10 in the UK for the percentage of students going into employment or further study. Latest figures show nearly 93% of graduates found work or further learning within 15 months of graduating. It's the 8th best result in the country and 4th best amongst English universities. And that's a roundup of the news around Winchester. I'm Steve Walker.
Staying on our sporting theme, and talented young swimmers in Winchester have received coaching from a triple Olympic gold medalist. 8-times world champion Adam Peaty founded AP Race Clinics in 2019 to inspire swimmers, parents and coaches, and he brought the training programme to Winchester Sports and Leisure Park. As well as being given encouragement in the pool, the youngsters also received advice from a fitness coach and psychologist. It's an issue close to Adam Peaty's heart, as he's spoken openly about his own battles with mental health. Winchester Radio was invited along to meet the swimming star and talk to one young swimmer who took part. If I can ask you firstly, you're working with a lot of talented swimmers here today. What advice are you going to be giving them?
So, like any young person that, comes on these camps, but anyone that I interact with in normal life per se, is to give their 110% effort. I think we sometimes underestimate how powerful that is. Hard work is so important in any role in society, so teaching these kids have a dream firstly and then work every single day towards that goal.
A lot of children will want to follow in your footsteps. What does it take to get to the top?
It's not that simple, unfortunately. There's no ladder or no kind of way or route that they may follow that will be the same as mine. Everyone has a different upbringing. To be a champion in the Olympics is 1,000 variables, if not more. So making sure that they identify their strengths and weaknesses to really make their own map, make their own route, and hopefully be a pioneer in the sport, not just in terms of performance, but also don't be afraid to show their personality. We had some kids there that are getting on the lane ropes, that's exactly what we need to see.
You've been quite honest on social media about your battles with mental health. How tough is it being an elite sportsman?
Incredibly tough, but we have got to keep it into perspective. There's a lot of people who are going through a lot worse times, especially right now. And my journey, yes, it is incredibly tough as an elite sports person, but it's also incredibly privileged that I have the support that I have, and I have the access to that support, and not many people have that access. So, for me, it's a very different time that, my job requires me to be 100% every single day. And that's why I've come out, because it's more about opening that conversation with people who have to give that 110% every single day. How do we find a balance? How do we find a break in that? And there's so many strategies that we can use now, and we have technology which can help us more than ever as well. It's exciting times really, because at the moment I'm not racing, but I will go back into racing, and hopefully I can show people that you can come from the lowest point of your life, and hopefully it's of my life so far, but we can turn that around and create something positive, create something magical, and share that energy with everyone else on that journey.
And how are you doing now? How are you looking forward to the Olympics next year?
I'm looking forward to it. We're 11 months away in terms of prep, 12 months away nearly, just under, in terms of performance. So it's going to be hard. We're going to face a lot of challenges on the way there, but nothing worth having was easy. If it's too easy, everyone's going to have it. And I'm the right man to do that. It's not like a loud thing in my head anymore. It's more calm. I've got a good plan. I've got a good team around me. I'm just going to execute every single day, do what we need to do, and show joy along the way. I think that's the most important thing for me now.
And that looks like what you're doing here today. And we've got some amazing facilities here in Winchester. What about up and down the country? Do you think youngsters get enough opportunities to learn to swim?
Learn to swim, no. It's in a real bad place at the moment, learn to swim, because the facilities are closing down because they don't have enough support from the government. There's not enough access, and obviously energy prices. So the communities which are really losing out are the ones that really need it. We need to make sure, and we need to push the government to make sure that these facilities are pushed and supported all around the country that we're not losing that primary school age of people leaving school, we're not even being able to swim. As an island nation with so many rivers, so many canals, we hear stories, especially in winter, people falling in lakes. We need to make sure that people have the skills for survival, and we're prioritising that.
And the events that you're running, I know this is one of many that you're doing up and down the country. What do you hope to achieve from it?
When you start these days, you never know what you're going to achieve. I guess we can give our absolute best and we can say hurrah, but at the end of the day, it's really down to the athletes, it's really down to the parents and coaches who take away from it. And from the feedback we've taken so far, they've had an immense amount of joy and fun, which is the most important thing, but the amount they've learned about unlocking their own mindset. The physical side of things is almost easy, because anyone with the ability to do so can do that. It's the mental stuff that's hard, the resilience. But all these skills need to be taught. People look at training and think, yeah, I'm going to push my body. But what about the mind? The mind is more important to push and more important to train. So hopefully they take that away.
My name's Monty Tibbets.
And how old are you?
12 years old.
So what's it like being coached by an Olympic gold medalist?
Well, a bit intriguing at first, but once you start to settle in and get some lengths done, he's a really nice man.
What sort of advice did he give you?
Well, I mean, my breaststroke's not my best stroke, but he's kind of helped me progress over the last couple hours to give me some focusing points and some things that I'm doing well, teaching me to be a really good breaststroker.
And what's it like having all those people cheering you on along the side?
That was really fun. That was probably my highlight of the day so far. It was a really fun experience for me.
And what are your dreams in terms of swimming?
To either go to the Olympics, be like world champion one day.
And is Adam Peaty your role model?
Yeah, favourite British swimmer, favourite swimmer of all time, and probably one of the best swimmers of all time he is.
And who are your role models growing up, and what is it like for you to be a role model now?
I had a few different role models. For me, it's obviously got the Michael Phelps, the greatest of the sport, greatest Olympian, but I loved Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. I still love them in terms of their stories, the way they promoted their sport, the way they showed their personality to help their sport, and I think that's incredibly important. Being able to inspire people along the way. Everyone doesn't have to be a high achiever, but I think you can find joy every single day in what you do and have a passion for that, and it does become about mental resilience as well. That's why I look up to them.
Adam Peaty there. And now for the latest in our look at the Hampshire Open Studios, taking place from this weekend. Last week we told you about Strange Times Quest, a group displaying their skills in Kingsworthy. This week we meet first-time exhibitors, the Southern Bookcrafts Club. The club was established more than 30 years ago, and members learn the ancient art of bookbinding. I began by talking to teacher John Green. So we're standing in this incredible room. Tell me a bit about what we have here.
We're a fully equipped bindery. We've got board cutters, we've got an electric guillotine, we've got hand tools, we've got book cloths, a large collection of book cloths. We've got about 450 different colours of book cloth. We've got paper and board and everything that anyone would want, sewing threads and the like. And we also have some blocking machines which enable you to entitle your books, both the spines and the front covers of books.
What sort of things do people make here?
A large variety of things. Art books they go in for, and also they make travel journals and photograph albums. Most members who are here do repairs of books, which is how I came to bookbinding, and they need to repair them, and so they put them back together. I do the repairs for the bookstall at the deanery, so that keeps me pretty well occupied.
It's such an old art, isn't it, bookbinding? A lot of people might be surprised it's still happening. How popular is it?
Well, we've got about 21 or 2 members here, and we have 3 or 4 students at any one time, and we do taster days once a month so people can come in and discover whether they like bookbinding. And it's also a social event. There's probably as much conversation goes on in this club during a club day as bookbinding. In fact, I rather strongly suspect rather more conversation takes place than bookbinding. It's a fun thing to do, and it's a fun place to go, and you can keep your books at home in good condition and make new ones too.
My name's Consuelo Simpson, and I came here as a beginner. I did the course with John, the beginner's course, and then it all got interrupted by COVID, but I loved it so much I joined as a member, and here I am. And then this year, for my sins, I thought it'd be a really good idea if the club took part in Hampshire Open Studios. We are a hidden gem and people don't know we're here, and there is so much to offer. I mean, the facilities are fantastic for people who just want to come and work on their own work. People can dip their toe in the water and do a beginner's course and progress, get more and more challenging projects. So hopefully, Open Studios, we will show people not just that we are here and that people can join as members if they want, but they can just come on a course. There'll be teas and coffees and cake and biscuits, obviously, and then a few books for sale that members have made. Oh, and we're all going to do demonstrations. Anybody who's here stewarding, so there'll be 2 or 3 members, and we'll all be working on something, very different projects, easy for people to talk to. We're ready to chat and just explain what we're doing.
So what sort of things will you be working on? What sort of things can people see if they come along?
There'll be anything from sort of making hardback books. Probably people will be working on boxes. I'm a printmaker, so I make artist books. So there'll be all sorts. There'll be the stitching, the cutting, everything will be on offer. We haven't made a plan. We just want people to be relaxed and do their own work. But everybody's obviously very happy to talk about what they're doing because we just find it so fascinating. But really, we just want people to come and discover that we're here.
And sort of encourage people to know what it's all about as well.
Yes, I mean, book binding, is not a fusty, lost in time skill, but it's very much, everybody loves a book. To make your own book, if you're an artist, you can make a sketchbook. Lots of people make things for special occasions for their family and friends, and that's a lovely gift, something that you've made yourself. And they'll be so impressed, and you will have the pleasure of making it, and they'll have the pleasure of living with it, which is just lovely. So we're hoping to introduce people to bookbinding.
Well, the Southern Book Crafts Club can be found in Eastern Lane behind Beaver Tool Hire and will be open to visitors for the next 2 weekends. For more information on the Open Studios, visit hampshireopenstudios.org.uk or pick up a booklet from the Tourist Information and other venues.
Hello once again, I'm Paul Blitz and it's time for this week's shout-outs. And a big shout out this week to all the volunteers who worked at Boomtown. Hundreds of people both locally and from further afield give up their time each year to help out at the music festival. Roles range from being on the gate to welcoming people and stewarding around the stages and access points. Organisers say that the volunteers are crucial to keeping the festival going and keeping everyone safe. We must give a mention this week to all the students and teachers who are picking up their exam results after all the hard work and stress of exams and coursework. We wish them all well in their future plans and decisions. Another repair cafe took place last weekend at the Badger Farm Community Centre, and so we give a big thumbs up to the teams who helped fix all the broken goods brought in. Organisers say that since the Winchester Repair Cafe was launched back in April, volunteers have given more than 500 hours of their time and have prevented more than 360 kilograms of waste. And finally, the Winchester Beacon has given a big thank you to the ladies at Avington Park Golf Course. They chose to support the charity at their recent Captain's Day and raised a good sum of £1,400. Thank you everybody for everything you've done, and more shout outs next week on Winchester Now.
Winchester Radio.
Now, it took shoppers in Winchester by surprise on Sunday to see a group of 17th century soldiers marching through the city. The cameras came out to capture the moment as a Civil War reenactment took place. Winchester Radio was there. Muskets at the ready, the soldiers assembled outside the West Gate. Crowds quickly gathered to watch. What do you think of seeing this here today?
I think it's terrific to see history being reenacted, and the number of people gathering shows that I'm not alone.
It's good, yeah, it's interesting. Keeps it alive, doesn't it? It brings it all back. It must have been a terrible time to live, really, if you think about it. And yeah, it just shows how far we've come, how different things are.
Well, we've only just joined on to the end, but we think, it's really exciting. It gets you to follow and find things out, yeah.
Check your scouring stick. Prepare to give fire. Give fire! Fire!
Then it was on to the Great Hall to demonstrate an English Civil War drill. The setting, 1642. Parliamentarians had seized the city from the Royalists and their troops broke into the cathedral, smashing windows and ornaments. But this was a regiment of the Seal Knot Reenactment Society. Here's member Dean Rowell. Tell me a bit about some of the costumes that you're wearing here.
Well, everything we're wearing is authentic. It's all made with the proper material as would have been made at the time. It's all hand-stitched. It's all wool. It's very hot. I'm wearing a soldier's coat, and under that I've got a singlet, which is a sort of sleeveless jerkin. And I'm wearing breeches, which are very fetching. They tie up at the knee, and I'm wearing hose beneath that, and then a pair of latchet shoes, which are 17th century as were made then. And they're quite comfortable, strangely.
And why do you think it's so important to do things like this?
History is vital. If we don't learn from history, we just don't learn. I, for one, wasn't taught about the English Civil War in my school, and I find that abhorrent. It's our history, it's the mother of Parliament. I think we should all learn about it, personally.
And it's going to be quite a show walking down the high street this morning. What sort of reaction do you get from people?
It's actually quite a good reaction. Most people do a double take, but they all want to come and approach us and ask us what we're doing, and it's generally pretty good.
And it must be exciting as well to do it in a place like Winchester, which has got so much history.
Absolutely. Well, the King did pass through this West Gate on one occasion, so yeah, there's lots of English Civil War history here.
They then marched down the high street into the city centre, stopping shoppers in their tracks. The procession led by drummer Sophie Gerard.
So I'm a drummer, and I've been drumming for about 20 years now. So I started when I was a young child, just going along for practice and drills. And then when I hit 16, I was allowed on the field, and I've carried on with that ever since.
And what do you love about doing this?
It's a family thing. My parents met doing it. I was born into it. I've got my partner into it, and I've grown up doing it, and it's so family friendly. But even no matter what age, everyone comes from any lifestyle and everything, and people get on. It's all about having fun and enjoying yourselves at the end of the day.
And going back in time, the drummer had an important role as well.
Yes, so we give out a lot of our structures and information that way. So if the pikemen or musketeers want water, we'll call the water in, and we'll tell them when to reform or warn them if horses.
So you must really enjoy doing this role.
Oh yeah, everyone has to listen to you at the end of the day. But it's a lot of fun to do, yeah.
And great reaction here today as well. Lots of people come out to see. It's important to sort of recreate that story, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that everyone's always so willing to learn about it as well. As soon as they see you out there, like, oh, what are you doing? Like, how's it come into place here and everything? Yeah, people get really interested.
I thought it was fantastic. We've actually looked online on YouTube at a bit of Civil War for children, so we found out a little bit about it, and we thought the enactment was really good. I'm looking at the muskets and all the weaponry that they had. It was really good, really interesting.
I really liked it. I thought they looked very good, and they looked like they were real.
Yeah, really good, and nice for the family as well, but it was interesting to see all the old uniforms and the weapons as well. So yeah, good.
Yeah, fascinated to see the Civil War Society coming out and just showing history in action, really.
How important do you think it is to have that?
Oh, very much so. I'm a history teacher myself, so being able to encourage the youngsters to learn a little bit more about what happened hundreds of years ago, but actually see it in front of them is the best thing.
The scenes certainly captured public attention, a reminder of a huge moment in the city's and country's history. That brings us to the end of the programme for this week. I'm Mary Blaxland. Many thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Winchester Now. We hope you've enjoyed this Winchester radio programme. Remember, if you have a story to share with us, please do get in touch. You can drop us an email at news@winchester.radio. And you can follow us on social media, including Facebook and Twitter. Just search for Winchester Radio.
Winchester Radio.